Hello, I'm Lucas, and I have a new channel name. I've rebranded, so to speak. I'm now Bits of Lit because I had this great idea that I've been toying with for over a year, or less than a year, I think. That I will get into in another video. I've been gone for a week because that idea involved the use of my desktop, which broke, and I cannot do anything about it because I'm living in Shanghai at the moment, and I can't go to fix it. I know what's wrong with it. Very fixable, but I'm not making any money. Everything's closed. I don't want to go out to get the coronavirus. I'll talk more about that in another video. But it's Poetry Thursday, so we can't miss that. Anyway, I thought, it's the last week of Black History Month, and we should get to one more poet for Black History Month. I went again with a poet from the Harlem Renaissance because I like this poet. The poem I chose is not one that I'm familiar with, but I chose it. I read it for the first time today. I chose it for a specific reason. The content of the poem is, it's an ugly truth of American history. And I just thought, it really wasn't that long ago what Claude McKay was writing about. So, with that, let's read The Lynching by Claude McKay. His spirit is smoke ascended to high heaven. His father, by the cruelest way of pain, has bidden him to his bosom once again. The awful sin remained still unforgiven. All night a bright and solitary star, perchance the one that ever guided him, it gave him up at last to fate's wild whim, hung pitifully o'er the swinging char. Day dawned, and soon the mixed crowds came to view the ghastly body swaying in the sun. The women thronged to look, but never a one showed sorrow in her eyes of steely blue. And little lads, lynchers that were to be, danced round the dreadful thing in fiendish glee. I believe that it speaks for itself, but I don't know when this was published in 1922. I'm looking at my laptop, which I just got to work. It's a long story. Again, for another video. This was published in 1922, and I don't know how old he was, but Claude McKay probably saw lynching in his lifetime, or at least heard about it from older generations or from his friends. If it was, I don't know when it really fell out of order in America, but the whole thing is horrifying. The last little bit, the women thronged to look, but never a one showed sorrow in her eyes of steely blue. And little lads, lynchers that were to be, danced round the dreadful thing in fiendish glee. We've got two generations, right? We've got the mothers, presumably the fathers are around, and we've got the children. The mothers are curious, it's a spectacle to them, right? Oh, they're horrifying, the older generation. But the kids are being indoctrinated, right? And they're enjoying this, and they're taking great joy, fiendish glee, as it says. Now, we don't necessarily have that in America now, lynching, but, it's not something that you can pinpoint to this level of racism. It's not something that you can pinpoint to an older generation. Oh, it's those old people, so to speak. It's from that time, because these kinds of evil traditions are passed down. And while though this particular tradition might be out of tradition, that doesn't mean it hasn't evolved, right? It's passed down, and it gets passed down, and it's just different. And, this was 98 years ago that he published this. While we don't see lynching anymore, we see other horrifying things. And it is a bit of a downer, but I wanted to bring this poem to light to sort of show that really horrifying acts like this are not that far back in our past in American culture. So, yeah, I will make another video tomorrow to talk about bits of lit. Thank you. See you next week for Poetry Thursday. Goodbye.